Welcome back to the Drive-In Asylum double feature. I'm Bill Van Ness from Fancy Drive-In Asylum. My co-host is Sam Panico from DNS About Movies. And our special guests this evening are Rob Freeth and Paul McVeigh from Book Series, which came from Hollywood. Welcome back. Someone's still rocking. There's like a delay. Oh wait, are you guys still hearing music?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can I start talking all over again?
I felt it was like Devil's Night in Detroit with that song playing.
I'm just wondering now. We're sliding to Neil Sedaka, but it's cool. But I'm listening.
Oh, I wish I could play Neil Sedaka on the program. You know, those copyright strikers are really vicious.
Oh, yes, they are.
So what was I saying? I have a feeling no one could hear me because that music was playing. I don't know what happened. There was like a delay in our broadcast. So I apologize. I'm going to fire the producers of this program. I swear to God.
Hey, Bill, heads should roll in the band because
it's going to be, you know, our guests this evening are Paul McVeigh and Rob Freeth from Book Series. It Came from Hollywood. Welcome back, guys. It's great to have you on the program.
Thank you, sir.
There's a lot of existential angst in this film. I really want to just dive right into it. Who wants to go first?
Said nobody ever. Robert. You know what? I would. Yeah. Can I defer to Rob? Or Sam has something to say, because I think Rob, having written a novelization, you know, he might be a bit closer than the rest of us. Really,
I'm probably too close. I'm too close. Sam, by all means.
Oh.
Okay. Well, you know, Rob is going to be the authoritative position here, but I was trying to give us the rest of us.
He would jump in here and do it. I mean, I didn't write the book.
You know what? Then we'll take a vote. Sam, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kick it off.
I think you know what comes through in the remake is that the Doctor is very upset that Jan is remaining a virgin until they get married, and he was more of a playboy in their past life, and with her taken out of the game somewhat, as it were, he reverts kind of back to that life, and then he realizes that he probably wasn't as good as he thought he was in his brains, and he's kind of a failure at it, which I found funny in the remake. In this one, he's definitely more sinister and less of a screw up, especially when he's bringing the drinks upstairs to his potential body donor, and he's like, whatever your future is, I think it'll be interesting for. It's almost like Ming the Merciless kind of lines, like, will you take her for the hour? For the hour.
Yep.
So, like that, I really enjoy the hand inside. And I watched the colorized version, so maybe I got a little something else out of it. It really added something. Seeing especially the assistant's gnarled up kind of monkey's paw. They colored it dark brown, which was very different than the rest of his body. So that kind of added a little bit more too.
Well, let me jump in and say I didn't even realize there was a colorized version, but I saw
it we were watching your version.
Was watching it. And Rob, I don't know if you were thinking the same. I'm like, man, I got to get that colorized version. That really
I wanted to see that. That was something when I wrote the novelization. Was I really put the color red? Red pops up. You'll see in chapter after chapter something red happens in every chapter. Because I wanted you to kind of imagine it in black and white and red, but then I saw that color version. I was like, hey, Bonnie B's wearing a blue dress. I had her wearing a red dress. I got to check this out. But yeah, I need to see the remake. To me, Bill Courtner in the book is that guy. And I say guy, because I know I'm a 52-year-old man, and I still know guys who will talk about some great lost love in their life. Some young lady in 5th grade said something crunchy to them, and they're still carrying that luggage around. And I feel like Bill Courtner's that guy. And whatever happened to Bill Courtner, he was going to be the best boyfriend ever once Jan Compton fell in love with him. And that even means I love her so much, I'll take her head and bring it back to life, and then I'll go and get a new body for her. And I just hate that. I hate that dude who thinks in that direction. And
well, now he's getting the best. I think if you were in his head, I haven't got to this part of the book yet, but it's like, oh, now I get the best of both worlds. I get everything I've liked about this Playboy life I had, which I don't think he did, but let's go with it. And then I also get Jan, the virginal. He really gets to unite the Madonna and Horace. So like both of those complexes kind of come together.
Yeah,
both within like a half split body.
And I gave Jan a little bit of a background. Complex.
Oh yeah, I gave Jan a little bit of a background where she had a mother who didn't believe in love. Let's say, but she believed in like this romantic love that you see in movies. But I kind of made her, again, she was a little bit more grounded, I thought. She knew what she wanted, and she wanted to move forward, but for some reason Bill would never do that in my novelization. Mm-hmm. And I think that Bill is the kind of guy who's so obsessed with his work, he really didn't have time. He wanted to be a normal guy, but there's nothing normal about him. And then this happens, and he turns it into a big, I'm going to prove my love. I'm going to show the medical world what I can do. And I just, I always felt bad for Jan. So
I think of Bill is kind of like when he finally speaks to another doctor, and he's like, hey, I brought a dog back to life. And they're like, oh, okay, that's where it stops. Like, we don't want to know anything. You know what I mean? It's like, you're doing too much. Like, that's not what we're here for. I can do it with people. No, you can't. Like, that's
and
fine.
For him, it's like bravado. No, you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
I brought a dog back to life.
Yeah.
And they're like, and he's like, these fucking idiots. Oh, I'm sorry about
Also, my wife's one
Oh,
comment on this movie was
you're gonna
about
get us ended on Facebook.
Yeah, that's okay too. Hey, can I mention one thing?
Mhm.
While you guys were talking, Dan in the chat said, "Why did he have time to cut her head off but not pull her body from the vehicle?" Dan, her head was decapitated in the rollover accident, and the flames are coming up quite clearly. And he grabs the head, which is a lot smaller than the head that actually ends up in the pan in his coat jacket. So Dan, that's why he grabbed the head. Spur of the moment.
My wife wanted to know why at the Go-Go Club people were just standing around. There's a lot, not the normal dancing you expect. There's just a lot of girls just
because they don't know how to react to the word action.
Yeah,
they looked like they were modeling, lingerie for men to buy.
It was a camera club situation.
Yeah.
I think the only unsexier strip club scene we've shown is in the Majorettes, where that Pittsburgh bar with the pool table and just a girl with the snake just standing there.
With some Christmas light.
If you've been in Pittsburgh, you've been to that bar, so you know.
Well, did you guys notice the decor of the Moulin Rouge Jazz Club? It's a half mural of dogs in hats drinking cocktails at the bar. I thought that's an odd choice for
when
decor for such a fancy club.
There were cats in there too, because when the two ladies had a fight, they zoomed into the cat picture.
Yeah.
Like for those of us who couldn't get the reference, oh, it's a cat fight.
You got to imagine at that club when you come in, the bouncer goes cat side or dog side, and then so you pick, cat side tonight. Oh, nice choice, sir. This way.
There's a scene in the remake where they play up that there's a very big butch female contingent that comes to that club, and Bill's looking at one of the girls, and he's the girl who with the scarner face, and he's like Doris, and he's like, I'm really into her, and the other girl's like, I think I have a better chance than you, just so you know. And he's like, what are you talking about? So there's a couple jokes like that. They don't get in the way of it, but it's pretty funny.
What are you talking about? Like it just went over everybody's head.
Yeah.
Back then.
And
silly. We're all vying for his affection.
Yeah. And I agree with Mike. Like the disfigurement that has ruined her life and sent her into a life of sin is just like a little, it's a little scratch. It's kind of like the thing of Dr. Doom. Like this, is he really disfigured or does he just have a little mark? Her mark's not that bad. Like we've all seen worse.
Yeah. Or does he just want to do despicable shit without, being held accountable?
Yeah.
Hence the mask.
He did do some despicable shit.
If Bill wasn't Bill, he would just get back with her because obviously she's receptive and he could have a relationship with her, but instead he's like, he kind of wants two women, but he doesn't want two women. He wants like the best parts of them. So this, again, my theory is the surgery isn't for anybody but him. And he's creating he's creating the perfect female.
Paul, you had something you wanted to say.
Oh, absolutely. Because like my take on Dr. Bill is very simple. He is an Apollo astronaut. Okay.
Yeah.
He's about cars and getting laid, and that's it. And her whole issue, Jane's whole issue is she's pining away to be married to him, and she figures it's going to be a great life. She can then not be a nurse and just be a doctor's wife, and June Cleaver and all that stuff. And the whole time he's like, I do want you because you're beautiful and you're the model wife, and I can't wait to go to bed with you. But also, I'd like you to be quiet because my first love is messing with dead bodies and limbs and other kinds of crazy shit. And I know you agree with me, so you're the ideal wife. Dr. Bill is an Apollo astronaut. He really is. I'm all about me,
He's a guy that read the Playboy Advisor to figure out what kind of stereo equipment he should buy in the 50s.
Exactly. And that's when you go into his apartment, you see that exact stereo equipment.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
Like, Playboy gave it 4 stars.
Yeah. If this movie was made in the 90s and 2000s, he would have read Stuff and Details and FHM.
Yeah. And if he were alive in the 2000s, he'd be a subscriber to Maxim magazine.
Yeah, 100%.
Dr. Bill subscribes to Penthouse Letters. Not Penthouse, but Penthouse Letters.
And he believes they're all true, too. He's like, these are... Certainly true.
I mean, I appreciate everybody's view on Dr. Bill. In fact, it's interesting to hear people talking in the chat about Dr. Bill. But bottom line is like he's a pea hound. You know, he wants his cake and eat it too, and then maybe not eat it, but he wants to cut the cake and put two different pieces of cake together. And the interesting thing is, as the movie progresses, he's like he has opportunities where he really could grab a lady, but he's like, and then it becomes not about preserving Jan as a person. It's like, well, what do I want to wake up and look at every morning naked next to me? Yeah, a stripper is okay, but wait a minute, this art student who has a great body that was disfigured, you know, it's like it really is all about Dr. Bill. Dr. Bill is like a son of a bitch, really. He really is. But he makes no bones about it.
Total narcissist,
he's okay
sociopath.
with it. He's Ted Bundy, way before Ted. I think Ted Bundy was probably born around the same time the movie was made, right? Maybe a little bit before. That's a Bundy. You know, charismatic. He says the right things at the right time. But you know,
and poor Kurt being his friend. Kurt doesn't have anyone but him. Kurt's like, maybe after we finish this, maybe we'll fix my hand. And you guys, yeah, we'll fix it. Well, after this, we'll get it. Don't worry, buddy.
There's so many.
Like Rob, Rob's got it down for the sequel that we're planning.
Yeah.
You know, that goes with Dr. Bill's narcissism. Okay, Nazi, doctor, whatever.
What is it? House of Frankenstein. There's the Nina, the assistant, and the doctor keeps promising to fix her hunchback, and he never does.
You know, that's like it's definitely a trope, but like a hidden one because it can be disguised, even in real life. You know, like if you work for Amazon, we're going to give you a raise. They don't give you a raise, but anyway, I digress. And it's interesting. He treats his henchman, his sidekick, better than he treats Jan. Jan's in the basement. At least, oh boy, with the gimpy arms, got a room. You know, he'd go eat, and he likes the booze, and the booze is there. Where he gets it from, it doesn't matter. And at one point, Dr. Bill realizes, I need this guy to be juiced up to keep doing, my bidding. So it's Dr. Bill's an interesting character. He's not a likable person. It's not really a love story at all. It's several love stories. Jan would love to be dead, right? Yeah. She should have been dead. She realizes quite
soon. Let me die.
What is this asshole doing to me?
Well, it's funny when the title being The Brain That Wouldn't Die, and the brain wants to die real bad. And it's like a whole movie of the brain wanting to be dead.
And the thing is, the brain is what makes the ending even possible, right? It's the telepathy between her and the monster in the closet.
She's not totally helpless.
Right. It's interesting. There's a lot of takes on Dr. Bill.
Is the thing in the closet what Bill really is? I'm just kidding. I'm trying to read.
You know what?
The modern.
Not to get deep at all, because I hate when anybody does that. But that is the id, right? That's Dr. Bill. He locks his true self in the closet so he doesn't have to look at it.
That's the A24 elevated version of The Brain That Wouldn't Die. That's what comes.
Absolutely.
That's my take on this movie.
What's your take,
Rob?
That's my entire take on this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's all like metaphorical in this movie for me, and that's what, like I said, like when I first watched it, I thought it was just the stupidest thing I'd ever seen when I was a kid. What did I know? But then, like I grew up, and I when I watched it as an adult, I was like, wow, this movie's really deep because it gets into like this sort of like the Matrix thing. Like, are you really just a brain in a vat somewhere making all this stuff happen? And she knew what it was like to have bodily autonomy. And then all of a sudden it was taken away from her. And like you said earlier, like she should have been dead. She wanted to be dead, but she wasn't, and she was still lingering. So what would it mean? Like, who are you now that your body is gone? Who are you, and what makes a person? Are we our heads? Are we our brains? or is it all of us that creates our personhood? This movie sort of like, whether it intended to or not, it hints at all of that stuff, and it's all really interesting to me. I really dig this movie.
That's like a really fantastic take overall on that, Bill. I mean that, and I'm not just saying it because it's your show. Yeah, a little bit, but no, I agree. I agree. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get like, if I go off on something else, then we're going to be like getting philosophical about the brain that would die, and then I would have to like kick my own ass tomorrow when I watch this on YouTube. I go, what are you talking about? It's just a monster movie, you moron. But it does have those, whether they were intended or not. Do I think Rex Carlton intended and Joseph Green intended?
No.
Probably not. Probably not. Maybe some of that slipped in, you know, a little bit here and there, because we don't know too much about Rex, but he didn't have a stable love life to begin with. It didn't have a stable non-love life either. So some of that probably affected some of the ideas for the film. But there's definitely something there, you know. It's not just like, hey, when you see The Shining, look at blah, blah, blah. We didn't go to the moon. No, it's not that.
It's not that. No, it's not that.
It's not a
intense.
hidden thing, yeah.
No,
it's all
right there on the surface, and it's disturbing. There's that one shot when they didn't have a lot of money, so they couldn't do the visual effects probably that they would have wanted to. But a couple of those shots where he's talking to her and her head's in a dish on the table, and you can see below the table like his knees and everything. Obviously, we're not seeing anything because we're seeing the back of her head, but it's really disorienting and upsetting to me to imagine that being real. You have to take a movie on its own terms. And if we're going to believe this movie where there's a head that can speak without lungs and it's sitting in a dish on a table, like, that's horrifying. It would be, you are totally at the mercy of people around you. It would be like being in a nursing home or something, you know. I'm sure people really feel that, you know, without being a decapitated head.
Yeah. It's just being a body sitting in there, and you rely on everybody else for everything. It's horrific. It's like, makes you not want to, for one, be a head in a pan.
Yeah.
For two, not be old enough to be put in a home.
Right.
I'm going to be a head in a pan one day.
We all will.
It just all got real right there. We're all like, man, we're so close to either a home or head in a pan.
This is a truth that's coming for all of us.
It is. It is.
I like that this movie does lend itself to these things. You can also look at, you know, there's a monster in the closet. There's a friend who's destroyed. Do you know what I mean? There's so many different things throughout. And I agree. I saw SG 2003 said, if you follow this film, there's a lot of loose women in Terrytown. And it is true. It's a red light. There's a whole red light district thing going on in this town.
Well,
I'm sorry. Rob, go ahead.
I was going to say, in watching it like I did and studying it, I saw a parallel between the overall plot and like today with the online dating. You're always you get kind of sucked into that, and you're always looking for something a little bit better. You find somebody, and he was doing that sort of like he literally leaves. He's creeping the neighborhoods, right? He's picking up, you know, some ladies are giving him scram buster, and then he's picking them up. He's going to some beautiful body contest, and he's looking and he's looking and looking and looking, and then he hears about somebody else who he remembers. Oh, I remember her from wherever. Like, you gotta slow down at some point. You gotta slow down.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's a guy thing that guys, the manifest destiny of conquering never seems to stop for a lot of guys. And like, you know,
that's what it's all about for a lot of people. You know, it's like the conquering. And then once that happens, like, whatever.
And he's conquering where he's answering both sides of what guys are looking for. He's getting the settle down girl with all of the other girls that he wants to go after. Like, he's somehow, and even then, even if he combined her head with the best looking woman and the best looking body or whatever that is to him, it's still not going to be enough. Like nothing's going to ever be enough for him because he's, he's 50s astronaut guy, like you said. He's what's next for me?
Matt wants to know how she poops. I wanted to know how she did her makeup.
Hey, Rob, I'm sorry, but while you were talking, Bill posted Matt's comment on there, and I like Matt. Rob and I are totally best friends with you because we question stuff like that as well.
Well, she didn't have to poop because she wasn't eating. Okay, so all she was a head with circulating blood going through it. But I want to know who did her makeup. Like she was always meticulously modeled.
Was like,
yeah, she's like, no, you messed up my lips. Do it again.
So did Kurt go down there with the withered arm with a mirror, like, here, do your makeup, dear? And 3 hours later, she's like, or is Kurt doing? Somebody's doing it.
The thing in the closet came out and did it.
You know what? I would like to think that that's how it all came down because she's telepathically controlling him.
Yeah.
There were a lot of guys in the closet that were good at makeup in Hollywood.
So did you guys recognize the queen from Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster?
Oh, no.
She's one of the beauty contestants. She's the last one they talk about.
Oh, wow. No, I never knew that.
Great close-up, and she was, I don't know if you guys have ever shown that movie. That's
we should show it, though. It's pretty special.
We say that every week. We're like, how many movies do we love that we haven't shown yet? So that
I know there's more movies that you love.
We'll be doing this for at least 5 more years.
Yeah, that's what makes this show great, right? Because every show there's 4 or 5. Oh, we should get that. Oh, I forgot about that. So
yeah,
I think she's the only person I recognized outside of anybody. I mean,
Robert, I did not recognize that, and that like shows up in no trivia anywhere at all. So
I can't remember her name.
You really did watch this movie like several times when you wrote this book. It's fascinating to me. Good job, by the way. All I did was all the artwork and shit, which is very easy. So.
The brain that wouldn't die. You want to order?
Yeah, what a t-shirt.
You want to order it on Amazon, right, Rob?
Order it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Half Price Books has a great price for it.
The cheapest price. If you want to get a deal on that book, I think it's $14.60 and retail is $19.99.
Yeah.
So even with shipping, it's going to be under $20. Half Price Books. If you have to go to Amazon because you got Prime. Okay, but I got to tell you, Amazon. In fact, I would say buy it from Walmart.com before I.
Walmart's got them. Books A Million. Anyone that sells books has got them. Yeah. But they're going fast. I'd hate for anybody who wants one not to get one.
You could miss out. So hurry up.
A counter in the corner of the screen of how many have sold like QVC.
Don't pay $90.
You know what? It's in my mind. That's what was happening. And then if you buy this, you can also get the press book reprint, which comes with the lobby cards, which comes with
beautiful.
I see we've sold.
Wouldn't die pin. Oh my God!
From Hoboken is on the phone. Janet, is this your first buy? Yes, it is. I love the brand that wouldn't die.
If you wait too long, you're just going to end up paying $200 on eBay. So get it now.
If you wait too long, you just have to buy it on Amazon. And they invent their own prices anyway. But I'll say right now, the weirdest thing about this book is it's on Walmart.com. It's a third-party seller, but Walmart doesn't really let you know that. But the book is $21.60.
That's not us.
So I love to see the book on Walmart, but there's like buy it from Amazon before you buy it from Walmart. Just buy it at the cheapest price, okay? Because it's better that it gets out there at the cheapest price. Half price books, I think, $14 is good. All right, we're done pitching. We're done selling. I'm not going to mention the brand that wouldn't die anymore at all. Rob is done. he's got up. He's like,
I just remembered. If you get a brain bundle directly from us, you do get a reprint of the lobby cards. Yeah, I forgot.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Robert, You mean you have those brain bundles for sale?
We do. You can go to it came from Hollywood.net right now and contact us, and you can get all this great stuff. Look at that.
Look at that. Oh, cool.
You can't hardly see it. Yeah.
That looks like a glossy postcard size. Fantastic.
Oh, I'm Bill Courtner. I'm going to carry this lady around and take her head off. Woo!
Rob is like the best pitchman salesman you've ever seen, except for right now.
let me die. I want to die. Anyway, all right.
That sounds like a hee-haw sketch.
It probably was.
Let me die. I want to die. You know what I saw on TV today? Coal Miner's Daughter was on.
Love that movie.
I was watching it this afternoon. I know. And poor Loretti, she just passed away earlier this week.
Oh, that's what I said when I heard. I told my wife, Loretti's gone, baby. Loretti's gone. I love that movie. It's a great. I love biopics. So,
Sissy Spacek is so good in that movie. You just want to like hug her and be like, "Oh, I love you." She's amazing.
I don't even want to start talking about that guy. I love Coal Miner's Daughter. It sounds so weird, but I do. I like all kinds of films. In fact, some of my most favorite films aren't horror or science fiction at all. And I love biopics, and Coal Miner's Daughter is just like something I can put on and I can watch tonight and then again tomorrow. I swear to God, it's a well-made movie, and I don't know.
With a bologna sandwich.
92 years with a bologna sandwich, right? 92 years is a pretty good run. So, no time is a good. Anytime somebody passed away is not a good time. But if I can hit 92 years, I'd be thankful for that. So,
I have a grandma who hit 92, and I was like, yeah, she did. She lived a great life. We were all sad to see her go, of course. But 92 is, you've seen a lot of stuff in 92, and you're probably tired of it. I know I will. I'm already tired of it.
I remember, not to get off anything, my grandmother died when she was 82. And I remember my mother said something to her, like the day before she passed away. She passed away on Mother's Day. And they took her out to eat for Mother's Day. And she was living in like assisted living at that point. And she's like, my mom said something to her, like, do you ever think about dying? And she's like, I'm ready. Whenever I go, I'm ready. She's been waiting to go, for a while. So, and I can totally agree with that notion. As I'm waiting for like an asteroid to hit this planet, any day is okay with me. Any day. But not before you buy. No, stop.
No, this is your chance. Get out there.
We did. We totally hoard out ourselves with this book and everything. We appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for letting us be goofy.
We really do, because we are goofy, as you guys have found out over the last couple of hours. So.
We don't know anything about that. Our second feature on tonight's program is Night of the Bloody Apes, which is something that I know Sam has been looking forward to for many, many a month. Isn't that right?
Yeah. I'm a big Rene Cardona fan, and a big Lucha fan, and a big fan of open heart surgery. So really, it hits everything that I love in one movie. Also, Rene Cardona just kept making this movie. He made it so many times. He's like, you know what? I already made, the Wrestling Women versus the Killer, or, Doctor of Doom, or whatever you want to call it. Los Luchadores contra El Médico Asesino. He made it. And he's like, you know what? I think I can make it again. He made it again. And
was this the fourth time he made it?
I think the third or fourth time he made it, yeah. And like each time I was like, you know what? I guess I can do nudity now. I guess I can do more blood, and I guess I can do surgery scenes. And it just got more and more and more and more. So it ended up working out pretty well. I really dig Lucy, the heroine of this, who dresses as a devil, even though she's the Technico, or the good guys, we say in Mexican wrestling, Lucha Libre, instead of the Rudo, or the heel, as they would call it in America. She fights a lot of girls who dress like cats. So if you're into cosplay demons against cats, also this movie probably will work for you too. I also like that she just wants to retire with her cop boyfriend and doesn't really want to wrestle anymore. But she keeps getting pulled into these things. And then, as the guy said before, this really is a movie about a father that loves his son. And he just wants his son's heart to be right. But you know, his son, the father, Dr. Krellman, is Jose Elias Marino, who is Santa Claus in Rene Cardona's Santa Claus, which, swear to God, the weirdest movie you'll ever watch. Santa Claus gets attacked by homeless kids who have been hired by the devil to kill Santa by Patch the
True
Demon.
story.
Yeah. Also, Santa lives
It
on Saturn, and all the children of the world come to sing a song to Santa on Saturn. It's like that's what I love about Mexican movies. Like, we have source material, but you know what? And I know Santa is pretty accepted, but fuck that. Here's our Santa. Love it. And like Cardona made some wild shit. So anyway, this movie's nuts, and I'm super excited. And it's got apes, so a lot of stuff. He made a lot of Mexican wrestling women versus whatever kind of movies too. This is the gets everything into kind of Mexican movies, so it's good.
You know,
I love it.
Paul Naschy did that over and over again as well. He made the same movie like 5 or 6 different times.
Yeah.
It was like one of these days, like Rob Zombie does it now. He's holding out.
That was Paul Naschy's like specialty. One more time, hold on, you know, and so it got better or worse.
Naschy's kind of like, you know what? But what if I completely change the origin this time? And who's to say that the Abominable Snowman doesn't create werewolves? And everybody,
right?
But he did it.
And there's going to be
I love that creativity. You know, he's like, no one would ever put that together, and he's like, of course, think about it, and you're like, okay.
It's like,
why not?
Oh, you've already made this movie. And he's like, no, I haven't, because this time I'm going to go to bed with 3 women.
Yeah.
Now there's cannibal chicks in a cave this time. It's a totally different movie.
Now, hey, Bill, I want to ask you something, because you started saying something, and we kind of all cut you off, but you said Rob Zombie. You said I'm not trying to like call you out in the carpet about Rob Zombie, because we're not going to get into a Rob Zombie bashing or praise session at all, right? But
we can.
We can. It's up to you guys. I mean,
well, no, what I meant was he has this movie that he keeps making. Like, you know, Sam always says that he wants to make Eaten Alive more than anything else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he just keeps making these movies, like he did, like Halloween, The Devil's Rejects. His movies all have a similar sort of feeling to this hillbilly humor that they do. And you know, that's what I meant by that. He keeps like making a
Halloween 2 last night, and Becca said again, nobody talks like this. Like there's like so much. Like, I swear a lot. I never swear as much as any of the people in these movies. It's not even colorful language. I don't know what it is.
It's not natural.
You just yelled, it's vulgar, if you didn't hear it in the background. Nobody talks like that. Yeah.
Oh, I hear her. What is she saying?
Go ahead, baby.
What do you...
No.
Well,
imagine.
The thing about Rob Zombie, I'm not bashing him by saying that, because he hasn't made that many movies. So, you know, he just started making movies with House of a Thousand Corpses, if you don't count, you know, the shorts he made before it. But it was just I don't
count any of them. But
well, he's still finding himself. I do like him as a filmmaker. He's just not a great storyteller. That's Rob. Like, he needs to find a really great story. And I think the closest he ever got was The Devil's. Yeah, the Monsters. Yeah, I think the closest he ever got was Devil's Rejects.
Great. I'm sorry. I've kept quiet this whole time. I love the Monsters. I love
Let it all out, please. Let it all out.
The Monsters has convinced me that he needs to remake Santa Claus Conquers the Martians next, because it looks like
that would be awesome.
Wait till you hear his cover of "Hooray for Santa Claus." It's really
Rob.
good.
We need to start this meeting proper. Rob, you need to introduce yourself as Rob F, and you have a problem.
I thought it was going to suck. It didn't. So
I agree. Here's why I agree with not your over the top thing that's now on Facebook forever, by the way, Mr.
And YouTube.
Oh my God. Think about that. Anyway, The Monsters I thought was pretty great. And here's why. Very simply. It's based on a TV show that was goofy, corny, dumb, had corny situations and intentional laughs. And all he did was make a movie of it and put some color in it. I love the color palette. A lot of it looks cheap, so I don't know where some of the money went. But I would say that it's an accurate representation with different actors of the TV show. Now, I don't want to offend anyone, really don't care. But I'm not a huge like Munsters TV show fan. Okay, so I don't hold it like a holy grail. I hold nothing as a holy grail. The original Dawn of the Dead is my only holy grail. Okay, everything else is negotiable. But I think Rob Zombie's found his calling in directing these kinds of movies for Netflix or other streaming services. And Rob makes a good point. Santa Claus Conquers the Martians is the next logical step for him. Make these over-the-top, wacky color palette kind of things, and I guarantee you this Munsters Netflix movie is going to be 10 years from now on every kid now, their Halloween watch list. It's going to top the watch list because it's made for a younger generation. You know, it's not made for us. And I hate to say it because I'm a fanboy about stuff too, but not religiously. But if you're like so mad that a remake of The Thing You Love doesn't look exactly like The Thing You Love,
go watch The Thing You Love. You know that's
exactly. That's my.
It's never going to be any better than that. So
I mean, we all survived somebody making the shittiest version of Suspiria ever. So I mean, you know, it all works out.
Oh, that was painful.
But if you made it through that, you can make it through anything.
I didn't even. Well, we did go to the theater and see it, but I don't even remember.
And then tomorrow, Rob Zombie's Tenebrae gets announced, and I flip out again. But you know, whatever, it works out. I mean, they're making a shitty Terror Train next month on Tubi, so I mean, you know, everything's fair game.
Why? Terror Train is shitty enough by itself. It doesn't need to be really. Hey, let me back that up in a good way, in a positive way. It's not, you know. It doesn't need to be remade. Terror Train, a remake of Terror Train doesn't even make sense in this day and age. So the Canadian Railroad goes on strike and the Terror Train is stuck in New Jersey with it doesn't make any sense.
The thing I didn't like about Munsters was it's like he took the color palette from the shock scenes of Creepshow, which work is like 5-second bursts in Creepshow, and was like, what if that was an hour and a half? And then and it's like, okay, like cool. But you know what? It's fine. It's not the worst thing I saw him do. I actually really like House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. I think they're fine. You know, I watched Halloween 2 the other night again, and like there's parts of it that are good. It's the audacity of making a Halloween 2 that has nothing to do with the original, and
that's why I like it. Yeah. It's his own.
I love when he's like, you know, just so you get the metaphor of the horse, I'm going to put it in big type in the beginning, and here's everything this movie's about. Like, you got it, cool. Let's go.
Halloween 2 is his own weird thing, and that's why I love it, because it's him using the Halloween mythos, and I didn't like what he did with the original. Like, I have to say, like, I was very disappointed when I saw Rob Zombie's Halloween. I thought it was obnoxious, and not in a good way at all. And but I loved his
obnoxious,
I loved his Halloween too, though. I thought it was really good. I was like, he just took like the shit that he started in the original, he took it and really truly made the material his own. It was a story we had never seen before, and that was good.
The film itself, like it's not directed any better than any other Rob Zombie movie, but the story is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
and that's one thing Rob and I have talked about before. I go, I don't like Rob Zombie's movie. I hated his Halloween, but I love his Halloween 2 for the story, because
we are so simultaneous.
No one has dared to do something as different as that, and so you got to give it to him. But he's no dummy either. He knew what he was doing. Let me go ahead and do this because they're telling me make whatever you want. Let me make it so they never asked me to do a Halloween 3, and they never did.
Funny is,
in fact, they're like, would you like to fuck up the monster?
Everybody that works with him loves him
for a while, and he did The Nail with Steve Niles, who's really great. And like, I think that's who he was going to work on The Blob with. And I'd almost like to see Rob Zombie work on his scripts with somebody else, like someone to kind of. And I'm not saying edit him, but like it seems like sometimes people get better stuff when they work along with somebody or. They work with the
he could be shaped into something different that would probably even be more effective.
I think he has great ideas, and I think he knows he has a vision of his set design is good, and he has a vision of what he wants to do. But it always feels like cheap versus what it should be. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll hold on. I still watched The Monsters. I watched it like 2.5 times. So.
Yeah, we watched it twice actually because I missed the first time. It was background noise when I was working on something else. But you know what? And I don't want people to get this. I definitely don't need a inbox 1,200 times how Rob Zombie is the best director.
Nobody's going to do that to you.
Nobody from this show is going to do that.
But here's the thing. I really like Rob's. I've always liked White Zombie. Oh my God, the biggest fan. And when he started to make movies, I got very excited. And then I was like, wait a minute. Even in House of a Thousand Corpses, I recognized 8 or 9 movies that Rob Zombie and I also happen to love. But I have a great recall for scenes. And Tarantino does the same. You know, he's got favorite scenes that he recreates. And look, I'm not knocking Rob Zombie. He's got Universal's ear, so you know, and he's got the money to do it. So I think I think that Mike, real quick to wrap up this Rob Zombie segment that unfortunately I kind of started, right? My favorite Rob Zombie is Lords of Salem. That was the first movie I thought was different from all the other stuff. And I really do like Lords of Salem. I bought it on Blu-ray. I don't own any other Rob Zombie movies on Blu-ray.
It's so good, isn't it?
I love it. And every time I watch it, I see more and I appreciate little subtle things I didn't see before. But The Monsters, that's a kid movie. It's fun and it's safe and it's going to be on Netflix from now until the end of Netflix. And I guarantee you that his best bet is take that Netflix money, make a couple more Monster sequels, one for next year, one for the next Halloween, and then take Rob Freeze's idea and go make Santa Claus Conquers the Martians with a soundtrack, and he's gonna kill it. You know, I think he found his milieu.
I dropped the link for. I dropped the link for tonight's second feature in the chat just now. If you want to get it ready, looks like Sam's about ready to do the drink, so I will hide the ad gallery for now and give.
Do the ad gallery, and I'll get the drink ready.
Oh, you want me to do the ad gallery? Okay, fine.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
All right, so tonight's movie's original title was Horror y Sexo. Sam, I'm going to mute you until you get your ice done. Horror y Sexo was the original title of this movie, and because why not? This was originally, now I don't know when it originally came out in Mexico, but in the United States it started playing Spanish language theaters in September of '69. So I think that was only a couple of months after it debuted in Mexico, probably. So there you go. It was Albuquerque was that first ad, and here we go. What did I bring this up for? Well,
I like that.
This doesn't have anything to do with horror section.
I know, but it's still cool.
I pulled this into the ad gallery by mistake, but we can talk about it anyway. I mean, fucking Sting of Death and Night of the Living Dead.
That's fantastic. I love that.
On Halloween.
And then that Halloween, wherever that originally came from, who knows? That looks great.
This is making me tingly. I'm
glad
I.
Bill, what year is that?
Well, it had to have been 69. Yeah, October 31st, 1969.
Wow. Here's an interesting quick observation. You look at that Halloween logo, and it looks strikingly like the Halloween font from 1978. And this predates that. So just saying. You never know.
So here's some actual clip art for Horror y Sexo. And this was from Austin. This was Halloween weekend in 1969. So we finally got some. Here's a Halloween Dusk to Dawn. I don't know why. I must have pulled these in here accidentally. I'm sorry.
You know what? But this is another one that is my mind whirring. 5 gruesome features. The grooviest spook spree ever. And here's one. And I can't read it because my glasses are way out of date. So, but I love copy like that. You know.
Whoa, free wiener roast.
I know.
Count me
Get
in.
it. Don't miss the wiener roast. Here's another title for tonight's second feature, La Bestia del Horror. This was with La Isla de los Dinosaures, and this was from El Paso, November 1969.
$2 a carload on that one.
Can you imagine?
Whoa.
Look, the second feature for this program with Hari Sexo was Blood of the Virgins, Sangre de Mujeres. It was actually, this was from Arizona. This was in Arizona from August 19. Oh, no. Wait. I'm getting the dates mixed up in this. Well, anyway.
Well, that's okay. That was $1.50 a carload. We're getting cheaper as the ads go on.
Yeah. This is
like
definitely from Albuquerque, the Linda Vista. Linda Vista was a Spanish-speaking drive-in in the Albuquerque area. This is from July 1971. We're getting closer and closer to the actual American release of tonight's second feature. Here's something interesting. We got some actual sexo with your Harari sexo.
Yes. Nice. Oh, I mean, was that out loud? I love that.
It's okay.
Two Spanish, double X-rated movies. Yeah.
You're with friends tonight, Paul. You can let it.
I'm among my people. So
yes, you came to the right place. So this was the American run of Harari Sexo, and then afterwards, it was released in 1972 theatrically in English-speaking theaters as Night of the Bloody Apes.
Interesting. I love that. Free spare body parts at the box.
I don't know what they were talking about. Maybe they gave you like severed hands or something.
Even if nobody asked, it's great. It is a great ad. You know, some 11-year-old kid was like, "Can I get a spare body part?" You're like, "Oh yeah, here you go."
Here's another one.
Fried chicken, like chicken legs or something.
Have your dad bring you back next week. Here's some passes. You know,
you get 2 chicken wings instead of 1.
Yeah. There's the body parts of a chicken.
Feast of Flesh was the second feature with this when it played theatrically. Are you guys familiar with that one?
Yeah, I am, and it's like Feast of Flesh, like it had like a longevity, like almost like the longevity that the brand that wouldn't die in drive-in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was paired with everything, like everything. It must have been like $1 for an exhibitor to rent those reels to show it.
I don't know.
It shows up.
I don't know what movie people thought they were getting when they went to see Feast of Flesh, but it was not a Cult of the Living Dead. It was about somebody injecting people with heroin. Here it is with Feast of Flesh and the She-Beast.
Nice. I like this one.
Mm-hmm. Barbara Steele.
Some thought was really put into that, and they're going to mention that flea market on Sunday. So.
Oh, and more real life spare body parts.
Where? Oh, does it say that?
Yeah, right above the flea market.
Lower right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's so small. I'm telling you, guys.
Free to everyone attending real life spare body parts. It's gruesome.
That must have been the gimmick. So something had to be available from like National Screen Service where the exhibitors were buying, something.
Yeah, it was probably just like plastic hands or something.
Yeah, something to look into though, because I love stuff like that. Interesting.
Lust for a Vampire is the third feature in this one. It's probably too small to see.
Yeah, but, I see that. Yeah, that one shows up a lot too in a lot of these.
Yeah, I love the artwork for this movie. It's extra striking, in my opinion. Especially considering the content of the movie itself, which is nothing like what you see in the ad. Talk about Sam, us making the movie that's depicted in the ad.
Oh, I know.
Here's a little press junket picture of our chief villain, murdering somebody in Night of the Bloody Apes. It's about murder. Here it is with Lady Frankenstein.
That's a good one.
From 1972.
What year is this one? Oh, so it 72.
72.
So that's Lady Frankenstein's actual release. So
yeah, this
it's
is from.
interesting. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no! I just realized it says let's close out 1972 with a little horror. So yeah.
Yeah. This was New Year's weekend. It was Friday, December 29th, from Greenville. Here they started to go a little. They're not coloring in between the lines here at the Edisto Theater. This is not artwork from Night of the Bloody Apes or Feast of Flesh.
No. Oh, but it doesn't come to me. But I recognize this little.
Do you? Because I was just going to say I don't know what this is from.
It's part of a bigger thing. It's you have it on your Facebook page as part of something. I know this artwork. There's a bigger. This is like the tail end on the right, and there's a bigger piece to it. It's one of those interesting things that I know that you guys like too. When theater managers like grab this and that from different press books and create an ad that no one's ever seen.
It was always one small part of the artwork that they clipped, and this is probably in a larger ad map that I'm not even remembering.
Yeah. You can see they clipped it on the side and they drew a head on that, whatever it is. So.
Here's one that I'm sure you guys will place if you think about it for half a second. This is clipped from another film that was released in 1972. Who can name it?
Fearless Vampire Killers?
No.
No, that's like 69 or 68, right? I don't know. I would just take a wild stab at the Vampire Dracula artwork and something, I don't know, Count Yorga maybe. I don't know.
No, this is, I'll give you a hint. That is not a vampire. That is the Bat Boy.
So it's Twilight people.
Twilight people, yes.
Oh my God, the Bat Boy looks like, Count Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Chris got it. Chris fisted
that
it.
Chick. Yeah, I see that.
Sorry.
Yeah. Good eye, Chris.
Hi, Pamela. Nice to see you. And thanks to everyone else who came back in the chat to hang out with us. This is fantastic.
I love being on this side of this experience and watching people like the chat posts come up. It's very invigorating as far as when you're doing this show to see that people are interacting and engaged. This has been a fantastic experience. We're
certainly glad you came. I think this is the last of the ads for Night of the Bloody Apes. Oh, no, we've got more. Here's more hijacked artwork. What's it from?
Bigfoot.
Yeah, it was a Bigfoot movie.
Yeah, I would say Bigfoot because that scooped out like space on the right is where the logo begins. So
Bigfoot's pecs in this look like the pecs on the villain in Night of the Bloody Apes.
And I love that his six-pack is kind of, he needs to get back in the workout. The little.
Oh yeah, definitely distorted.
That's definitely been like drawn over to so many extents.
Well, anyway, that is our ad gallery for Night.
Love these ads. You find like the most fantastic stuff. Like I don't know how you do it, but I appreciate that you do.
Right on. I'm just always looking. I'm always on the lookout. That's a large part of my week is spent going through newspaper archives. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And Sam looks like he is ready to give us the second cocktail of the evening.
All right. This is the Drunken Bloody Ape. I'm pretty excited about it. It's got a lot of alcohol in it, so join me for the third segment. Anyway,
already has a thumbs up over here.
Yeah. So anyway, let me move back here on camera. Let's start with the healthy parts here. We're start with 3 ounces of pineapple juice, and then 3 ounces of orange juice. That's your vitamin C. Everything else in this is probably bad.
Oh, healthy. Okay.
That would be the healthy part right there.
Yeah, that's it.
It ends now.
It's over. Over, Johnny. You gonna say we can win this time? Okay, anyway. 3 ounces of Malibu.
Now, rum is also healthy, I've heard.
Yeah. Also, I'm given to Rambo speeches every once in a while, so I apologize. Just like randomly in my house by myself, just give Rambo speeches.
No, it's appreciated, and Rob and I do the same.
An ounce of Kraken. So,
what is that?
It is a.
I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm sorry.
It's good. No, good. It's a spice.
No, normally when you do these drinks, Sam, like everybody's silent, but I'm like, no, I want to know.
It's a 94 proof rum, and it's black spice, so it's very licoricey, and it blends really well with stuff. And then we're gonna do 4 or 5 bitters, and then let's mix it up and see what happens. And remember, note to self: put the top on tight so you don't get in trouble.
So you're not mopping the floor.
All right. Now,
Sam had a notorious accident on this show once.
Really? I missed that. What episode was that? What show was that?
It's been stricken from the record.
Oh.
The one of which we dare not speak.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to start with put a little maraschino juice at the bottom of your drink here.
Mm.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to pour over top of that. And then finally, we're going to get back some of those. You know what? Maybe there's healthy stuff in here. We're going to put a little bit of pineapple in there.
Oh, see? It's good for you.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of lime. Limes are good for you. Thank you to my wife for cutting these up. I appreciate it. And then finally, a little bit of nutmeg. This drink's got a lot of stuff. It's like when you get into the tiki drinks and they're like, put allspice drum in it. And you're like, what the fuck is that?
This is swanky, I've got to say.
It's interesting, and it looks good. I mean, even on a web camera, it looks fantastic.
It's good. It's kind of like a painkiller with a couple other ingredients in it. Usually painkillers have the coconut in it, so it's similar. I'm working up to the Jet Pilot's my dream drink, but it has like 9 kinds of rum in it. It's a really expensive drink.
You had me at painkiller, but 9 types of rum. You've got me.
Yeah,
I'm on my way. I'm driving over now.
It keeps getting better and better, doesn't it, Paul?
It does. 9 types of rum.
Yeah.
The hell you say, sir?
I didn't even know there were 9 types of rum.
Me either.
I totally knew that. Mr. Freeze is going to say that.
It's like you have to build your own cone of ice, and you have to. You have to make orgeat syrup and stuff. It gets ridiculous.
I'm serious about my rum, but yeah, definitely.
So anyway,
now how do we do it if we want to mix this drink, but in a gallon? Can you give us the instructions?
Yeah, it's pretty close to a gallon already. It's real close.
Like I got to tell you, and Rob will tell you, I don't just drink like a 16-ounce cup of anything, not just one. That's silly. So a gallon or like a 2-gallon recipe.
If you guys come out to the drive-in sometime, I usually bring out a lot. So
we will definitely be out that way for sure.
Yeah, and
we have plans next year to do quite a bit of traveling on the East Coast. So
awesome. Well, Pazuzu, everybody.
Oh,
cheers.
Cheers to one and all.
Super happy with how this came out. Not to toot my own horn, but
it looks fantastic.
Thanks.
Cheers,
yeah, it came
baby.
Looks healthy.
It's healthy.
It looks like one of those sports drinks they serve down at the gym.
You probably get one of those after a workout.
Yeah. It's a pre-workout. You know what? I never drank pre-workout before, and I drank it a bit ago. And it is really what cocaine is. It's real like
now you have my attention.
That's why there's those warnings on the red lines drinks, because it really hits you really quick. I think I can knock a house over now. So.
I gotta say, Rob, I love that when you go, when you after a good workout, your trainer, if he or she is worth their salt, will go, here, drink this.
Yeah,
you need to replenish. Drink something that sucks all the rest of the water out of your body, but it tastes
It's got
good.
pineapple in it,
And
man.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's all that matters. If it tastes good and it makes you feel good, do it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, I'm pretty excited how this came out, and I'm really excited to watch this movie. It's not. I always say it's not good, but it's great. That's my description for most movies. Like it's got something to it.
No, you know, it's been a long. Rob, when's the last time you watched this movie?
It's probably been a couple years at least. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me. Like, as a matter of fact,
You probably haven't
and
seen
it's funny
it
when
since VHS.
No, I still have my VHS.
You should have brought it out. That was some great artwork. You guys remember the oversized box for this with the pulling the eye?
Well, the same.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
We should mention
it
too.
Works for me.
We should mention too that this in the UK, this was one of the original video nasties, and it was one of the ones that was prosecuted. You know, some of them were just mentioned as video nasties, but they weren't prosecuted. But this one was. So this was one of the most notorious video nasties that there was. And again, like, why? Oh, we didn't mention For Brain That Wouldn't Die. That wasn't even released in UK cinemas. They passed on it because the censors wouldn't pass what they saw, which, you know, come on.
Mary, is the disembodied head. You couldn't show a disembodied head in the UK.
Mary Whitehouse was spreading her madness in the UK at that time, I guess.
Silly, those Brits.
Well, I think the big problem was a lot of the companies, when they did the ads, especially the Vipco ad for Driller Killer, was so rough that it was like they were just almost daring people to come after them with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think a lot of times they told, like, the other distributors told them, like, hey, maybe chill out on these ads. And they're like, nah, we're going for it. This is what the kids want, which it is what the kids wanted. But, you know, people were already worried. I was writing up the Child's Play movies this week, and the video nasty stuff continued into when Child's Play 3 came out in England. It got blamed for a whole bunch of murders. And even though, like, police experts were like, it has nothing to, those murders have nothing to do with it, they still got in the tabloids, and the tabloids, like, it's like the video nasties all over again. It only lasted for that one movie, but, you know, it made great copy.
You know what's interesting is, like, it actually, like, it makes my heart feel warm that to go back to a time when we could blame a movie for real life violence. And now we really can't blame movies. We just have to blame people for real life violence. You know?
Well, you can blame video games too. Still, that still works.
Yeah, someone always has something they come up with to blame.
It's always something. It's you know what? Doing research for other articles and stuff I've written, it goes back. You know, it's like the movie industry fighting TV, right? And then the TV industry and movie industry fighting cable. You know, but it all started with radio when movies became big and nobody was listening to radio. So it's always somebody has to take the blame for something, you know. My whole point by saying that, again, I'm like alienating myself from everybody. And but it's like it was a simpler time when we could just go, oh, Chucky is causing children to kill people, or not even children, just adults.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's just I grew up during the Satanic Panic when everything got blamed. You know,
Me too.
Bill was playing it. Well, what's funny is during the break when we were doing the countdown, you played another one, White Bites the Dust, backwards and back. He's like, what is that? And I said, oh, we used to play our records backwards to find messages when we were kids. And she's like, you guys are fucking idiots. And I was like, but you know.
Did you guys catch that? I'm so glad you noticed that.
Yeah, actually, I started to post a comment in the chat, but it took me so long to type because I can't see shit. I was like, I want to hear another one Bites the Dust backwards, the full length when we get, you know, we start back the show, bring segment 2 on. But the Satanic Panic was an interesting time, and I take umbrance when younger people go, the Satanic Panic of the 70s and 80s. No. Devil's Reign and all those movies, that was the Satanic Panic. That was the exploitation of Satanism, the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey, and all that stuff that was going on. You know, that was them making money on it. Satanic Panic was 87, 88, 89.
Well,
Geraldo doing his show, you know.
It started a little earlier than that.
For me, because I was in high school, and that's, you know, and I had an opportunity. I was on CBS, a local Channel 2 CBS station here in Chicago, and on a show called Different Drummers. And I hear somewhere online they have an archive, but September, October 1989, I was on a TV show and stood up and talked wearing my high school gym T-shirt, which they warned against us. Don't let them know where you're from. And I talked about Satanism. You know, I had long hair. I had rippling biceps.
Did you really?
I looked pretty damn hot in 1989. I think I was like 16 or 17.
I think you look hotter now.
Oh, Bill, we're gonna have to let's stop the show. Let's just chat, you and I. You know,
you definitely look hotter than what you just described to me. So
somewhere
ask
anyway.
Sam, he knows.
So somewhere online is a 17-year-old me, you know, saying, "Yay, Satanism, no Christianity," and I'm okay with that. But
you might be getting a cop costume in the mail. Just saying.
That's okay. Bill, you let me know when you want me to wear it, and when we do the private chats and stuff, that's cool. I just
it'll fund.
If you
it'll
record,
fund. It came from Hollywood Book 3.
It has to be. Look, I'll have you talk to Rob. It's a 50-50 split. Anything we do, we share in the profits. So.
Oh, Rob's going to be involved. Don't worry.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Oh, no. I feel like a secondhand tool. Literally.
No, it's definitely going to be both of you guys involved. Double the pay. So it's going to be all right. Are you guys coming back for the third segment? This is a question I have to ask.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave it. I always defer to my partner, my best friend. Robert is my best friend and my business partner. And if he says yes, I'm really proud of him because it's 10:56, you know, Central Time, and he's still up. This is not a thing.
I haven't seen what 11 o'clock looks like in quite a while.
Open up that beautiful window and stick that head out, brother, because
this is 11 o'clock.
This movie is nearly 90 minutes long, so it's going to be like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, Night of the Bloody Apes is like an actual movie.
Yeah.
We'll be here. You know what? We've had banter off the show. We'll keep the banter up. Robert's in to win it. I'm in to win it too. So
awesome. That's what I like to hear.
It'll be segment 3 with us 4 and 7 people in the chat, and that's all we need.
And we'll be showing trailers for next week, right? Or we'll be at least talking what we're showing next week.
That's right. Our guests next weekend are going to be the guys from the Doomed Movie-thon, and we're going to be watching. Well, we're not going to give the titles away until we come back, but they're going to be 2 fantastic made-for-TV horror films that are going to really get everybody excited because I know there's some faves that we're watching. Yep. So
I can't wait. I can't wait to comment and not stop talking about it.
Good.
Which I'm sure is going to be the biggest complaint that anybody has to say. Paul McVeigh was great, but that guy don't shut the F up.
That's why you're so good on this show. That's the kind of people we need.
I did a radio show for 13, 14 years. So I still don't know when to shut up. I'm not shutting up now. Look at me. Still talking.
I'll lead you on Chicago radio hosts when we come back for the third segment.
The link to Night of the Bloody Apes I dropped into chat. It's another YouTube movie, so you guys who like watching on YouTube, you're in luck. It's on YouTube, and if you can watch it without commercials, then great. But make sure you click start at the end of this content, and we'll all be in about the same place. We'll be back after the movie with Paul McVeigh and Robert Fries, Sam Panico, and me. The Drive-In Asylum double feature.